Hey everybody, welcome to Path of the Brush here on Gen Con TV. I'm your host Rick, and today we're doing something super fun. We're going to be painting some BattleTech minis. So all the nice mechs are going to be put together and painted with my good friends Mark and Will in the background. Come forward, gentlemen. There they are. What's up,
I like
gents?
we did the same hand gesture, Will.
Huh? Yeah, I know. It was not planned.
No, not premeditated.
So, as I mentioned, we're painting BattleTech today and over the next couple of episodes. Ooh, look at them shining in a box.
Mm.
I got mine here all primed
I'm a
and ready to
BattleTech
roll.
in a box.
So, which ones are you
My,
painting there, Mark?
I have Clan Ad Hoc Star.
Nice, nice.
And so, yeah, let's open this up. Just got this today.
Mm,
It's exciting, right? From our good
yeah.
friends at Catalyst Game Labs.
Yup.
I've heard of those
Our good
guys.
friends over there. That's right.
Ooh,
Big shout out to Catalyst Game Labs. Also, we're shooting this live at Hoplite Games 2.0. We're in the new store in the back of the gaming area set up. We're going to be doing some cool background stuff here. So it'll be a slow burn, but it's going to be a fun one. So we're really excited about that.
I gotta say, the art in the box is just pretty cool. Like, you open the flap and you got some cool graphic here. You pull out your
Right.
models, and then in the background, oh, there they go flying. You got some cool art in the background there.
Nice.
And what's nice about this, there he
Yeah.
is. There he is. What's nice about this is these guys are ready to play. Like, we're going to paint them today, but technically you could just plop them on the board and for your play mat, battle mat, and
Nice.
you can go after, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
No, no screw required.
Mm. I have a feeling because the internet was just put into the store today that I'm going to be a little choppy. I seem to be a little choppy today. We may have to do a hardwire like we did at the studio previously for this to be more efficient. Will, which ones are you doing? Are you doing the Inner Sphere Firestar like I'm doing?
I'm doing the Clan Firestar.
Clan Firestar, that's what it is.
Yeah, got the Warhawk Prime, Nova Cat A, Firemoth Prime, the Cougar A, and the Kit Fox Prime.
Nice.
And as a bonus, I have a couple of mechs that my buddy gave to me because he knew I loved them. And well, the first minis that I painted for like wargaming were Striking Scorpions for 40K. The first minis I ever painted were BattleTech minis, and one of them was this guy, the Daishi, and now it's a
Oh,
much bigger, less metal one.
Very cool. Hey, Random Encounters Guild, thanks for rating us. We appreciate that. If the two of you that are rating haven't done so, hit that bell, hit that heart, give us a follow, and make sure you get all the alerts when Gen Con TV goes live. That would be awesome. I so with BattleTech, there's always everybody comes up with their own scheme or theme of paint. Do either of you have like a theme that you're going with?
I'm thinking like olive drab because I've never done anything that um, like it should hide in the trees kind of green.
Okay,
That's what I'm thinking, at least for these guys. I'm going to
nice.
do my classic colors on the original mechs that I first painted. I'm going to do a redo of the original paint job, which was black with red stripes.
Very cool. How about you, Mark? Do you have a color theme you're going to sport?
I was thinking, I got this metallic, this greedy gold. So I think maybe
Nice.
accent it with some gold. Black and gold would be nice. Um,
Okay.
maybe a little red.
All
Gray,
right.
black, gold, red. I think
Gray,
so.
black, gold, and red. Nice. I'm going with mint chocolate chip as a theme.
Ooh.
Yes, I should have stuck with ice cream.
This one's got a
So
rainbow theme, which is kind of fun.
I'm going to
I'm
switch
going
to
to be using
Neapolitan.
pastel sea foam is going to be my base, and then I'm going to take some sort of brown and put chocolate chips all over my mech, which is
Sounds
camouflage.
delicious.
And this is obviously we're here to have fun, uh, and we got to come up with a cool story behind the mint chocolate chip brigade. Why does it exist? And why is there no um, what's that big mech I have here? The big model.
Do you have the Clan Firestar?
I'm using Clan Firestar for my miniatures, but you know that big one that I have,
Oh, the
Yeah.
Marauder.
the Marauder. Yeah,
Yeah, that was
I was,
pretty great.
I was gonna call this Colonel Minty's Marauders without a Marauder in it.
Little minties. I love
they
it.
they have to paint their BattleTechs in mint chocolate chip colors until they get their Marauder back.
That's right. They lost it in a campaign and uh, have been shamed ever since. That would be a pretty fun story.
Yeah.
Because he's missing an action. There's this guy here. He's got some claws on him.
I do like that model.
This is a cool
That's
model.
a cool model.
So I'm doing a little prime time on these, and then it comes with 4 more little guys. This one here.
Nice.
You can't paint, BattleTech models without talking about the 1980s robot jocks.
Robot Jocks. That movie?
A terrible movie, yeah.
Yeah.
it,
Good Lord.
it had some okay stop motion animation.
Sure.
Yeah.
If we just end the talk at that, then it's a
Yeah,
great movie.
it's
Right.
if you're into the 80s nostalgia, terrible movies, this might be for you. But
All right. I kind of feel like BattleTech has actually inspired some other films, such as like Pacific Rim. You know, with the Jaegers.
oh yeah, absolutely.
That there's got to be some influence there, because it seems like whoever kind of came up with that whole concept was like they had been inside a battle pod at least once.
I think they did a good job on Pacific Rim.
I agree for
I
sure.
love that movie. Such a good film.
Is it in the Godzilla like universe? Is that correct? I heard something because of the kaiju type situation.
I don't know. I don't
I don't know
know
if
if
it's
it
made up.
is.
I think so if it was in the Godzilla universe, I believe Godzilla would have risen up to fight against the invaders on his planet because he's kind of
Mhm.
like the bodyguard of Earth. And
He's the balance of nature and is what he is, right?
yeah,
Because it was nuclear, right? Nuclear power, nuclear bombs that was happening, and that's why Godzilla rose up. They were doing some testing in the water, and he said, "Oh heck no!" Is that correct?
Yeah, I think one of the stories of Godzilla might exist around that theme for sure.
yeah. And some of it, he was like a mutated iguana that happened because of the like Bikini Atoll tests.
Hmm.
But in others, it's like he already existed and was woken up.
Yeah, I like that. You
The
know,
inciting incident is always the nuclear tests.
Right.
there's always some alarms going off. You know, "Brr, brr, brr," and then bubbly
Yep.
water. You know,
And then
You're
those
coming-
weird ladies singing in an oyster, as you do.
Right. As one does, yes. I have not yet seen, I think it's called Godzilla Year One or Godzilla One or
oh yeah, the
Minus one?
newest one. Yeah,
yeah, not the King Kong and Godzilla Part 2 one, but his standalone. I heard that it's like one of the best Godzilla movies ever made.
Yeah, like Godzilla's 70 years old. And he's been at it for so long, and he finally got an Oscar.
Oh
That
snap!
one. Yeah,
Good
for
job,
the
Godzilla.
special effects. Yeah.
my favorite Godzilla is A-Team Hannibal smoking a cigar, taking the the hat off. You know what I'm talking about? The intro.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun. All right.
Dun, dun, dun. How does the A Team go? Dun, dun, dun,
Dun, dun, dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun.
dun, 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 dun. That's
Boom,
right.
boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
I've actually got that on a playlist to help like people wake up and go to school, because that will get your blood
Nice.
pumping.
Yeah, well, that or some samba music.
Fun bum.
And that playlist has a samba in it. It's got Harry Belafonte's "Jump the Line."
Nice.
It's a great song.
Just like to say hi to everybody watching. If you haven't yet, jump in the chat and let us know where you're from, what kind of miniatures you're currently working on. We love to chat with the community about all the fun paint projects they're doing. If you're just now tuning in, we are working on some BattleTech mechs. and from Catalyst Game Labs. And I think what we should do is the three of us should actually um, do a battle royale with these mechs against each other here at the new store location, because we have so much more play space, and can get a, even if it's just us getting a demo from someone that really knows how to play the game.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
I haven't played it since like the 80s, but the rules are
Nice.
largely unchanged.
right.
And that's a solid system if the rules haven't need to be changed in that long.
I think that it needed to be changed, and they did a good job with making the Alpha Strike rules. Granted, the core rules are pretty much the same, but the Alpha Strike rules, which allow for much faster play, have been such a godsend to the IP, that the communities around the game have been growing really fast, and that's really nice to see.
What's the price point on like an Alpha Strike box?
I think it's like $49.99.
Okay.
Dang,
You get,
that ain't bad.
and that's like for two armies. It's like everything out of
Yeah, you
box,
get a decent. Yeah, you get a decent amount of max. It might be a little bit more than that.
but around $50. Yeah.
Around $50. Yeah.
Okay. And you can start playing that, and then you'd get these reinforcement kind of little kits, and these go for $20-$30. Maybe a little more if you get the big guys, but that's a pretty easy entry bar, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's not crazy breaking the bank.
Right. For sure. So our mutual friend who's been on the show once, Jeff, he did some mechs once, and he did this really cool effect on the tips of the barrels that made it look like that, where it was superheated and has that like blue metallic flashing.
Yeah, it kind of has that purpley flash.
Yeah. I need to figure out how he did that effect, because I'd like to do that on the barrels of these mechs guns, because it looks so good.
Yeah, he did a great job on that.
Was it just a one and done color, or did he do
No, it was
okay.
he did
3 layers or 3 or 4 layers of it, built it up.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a glazing technique I know of. If you if you thin down some of the speed paint stuff, you do like a yellowish, like a deep yellow.
Okay.
And then you transition that to a deep red, and then a light red, and then like a pinkish purple to a light blue.
Okay.
So that's 4. But you glaze that in from the back to the front. And it looks awesome. It looks really nice.
I think that's cool. Yeah. It's the only time you should glaze in from the back to the front.
What about donuts?
I remember that what you're talking about, and it was for you guys' podcast, and it was you, Rick Tack, and other Rick, and Jeff, and other Rick wasn't there, so I graded that terribly just because he wasn't there. But and then you did a really cool. It was kind of an Iron Man theme.
Yep, red and gold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I like this whole discreet.
I like this mint chocolate chip look, though. This is kind of funny. I feel like other people in the verse of BattleTech might go, "Why?
Or cool, let's get it.
Yeah. How are you putting camouflage on these mechs doesn't make sense. They're like 7 stories tall.
Yeah.
And probably super loud. You're like, what is that noise?
Yeah.
It's a giant mech coming to kill you.
I can't see it. It's camouflage is so good. Right.
Yeah. It's kind of like the X-Men, the Sentinels, you can always hear them coming.
That's right. Mutant identified.
Hey, there's a good color scheme for you.
That would be kind of cool.
Their color scheme is what? Purple and
like pinkish.
Pink, yeah. The Sentinels are what a great villain too, right?
Oh yeah.
Should I just get more legs out of this purple I've been doing? Everything is purple.
I mean, why not?
Is it your purple phase?
It's my purple phase. I see what you did there, like that, like my impressionistic, like my Lily's phase, and
that's funny.
That is funny.
Again, anybody watching, if you have any comments, let us know. If you have any questions, our show is not.
Keep those questions to yourself.
No, please share. Our show is really just a hangout opportunity for everybody that to dedicate time in your week listen to our insanity as we just chat about the pop culture things that we enjoy, the miniatures that we're painting, maybe some processes in regards to how we paint these. But it's a good way to slot time to paint your miniatures and just hang out with us. We do talk about some pretty silly stuff here. Cartoons seem to be a pretty popular topic for us, as well as movies, Netflix, and every once in a while we'll sneak in maple syrup. So we
And then,
apologize in advance.
Or not, if you enjoy
Or
that
not.
kind of thing.
Enjoy that.
yeah, if you're loving it, loving it.
Will killing it.
So as I said, these came out of the box and they're like ready to go. They're not on a sprue. Like our first episodes, we did some conquest models, right?
Mark,
And
what is a sprue?
a sprue. Go sprue yourself.
Whoa.
Dang,
Okay.
was-
okay.
that was some hobby aggression right there.
That's
Hobby
hobby
aggression.
aggression. That was, sorry, I take it back. That was not nice.
The
When they do the
molding.
injection molding of the plastic or whatever kind of like polymer that
Okay.
they're using, generally plastic.
Mhm.
There's two metal pieces that come together and it does the injection, and you get left with this sprue, and that's what all the little pieces are on, right?
Nice.
Which I think when I was first getting into stuff, I was like, "What is a sprue?" And then you
Yeah.
got to have other things like these sprue cutters, like little. You can get them of varying sizes and I don't know costs. But yeah, you got to
Yeah.
trim them off the sprue, and then you need a mold. They got mold lines because where it met in the middle, you got to scrape off the mold lines. You still get those from some of the like ready to go, kind of like the BattleTech, but very very faint. There was barely any on there. It was basically ready to go. So I put some of these guys together, 12 of them last night. I already de-sprued them. They were trolls, right? And that took me probably to assemble was probably still 3 hours to assemble them after I already de-sprued them, which would have been like an hour before that, And so it's like
Okay.
4 hours before I can actually get these guys on the table. These guys are technically ready to go, which is a huge benefit. So if you're like just getting into, wargaming, something like that, this is a great alternative to that additional hobby time that you might not have, right?
Right. And there's also the factor that not everybody is into all aspects of the hobby, right? Some people
100%.
they just want to play the game. They're not fans of the modeling aspect, right? They don't want to get on, model mayhem and set up a site and try to find a photographer. It's just ridiculous. But if they don't like the model aspect, that maybe they don't even like the painting aspect, right? They just want to play, and models like the BattleTech models are good for that, because the only time you truly need to paint your models for play is if you're going to go to like a tournament or event, right? Because not everybody has the inclination to paint their models, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But we want to get you on the path, hence path of the brush, to paint your miniatures.
And to my eternal shame, when I was young, and the first models I got were always the metal ones, and they didn't have sprues, right? But the first models I got that were on sprues, I didn't have clippers, and I was so impatient that I just twisted them at the joints until they came off.
Oh my God.
That can work, but you also can lose an arm, right?
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Wow.
I still have those minis. They don't look great.
Those pewter ones are cool though. Like when I was getting into D&D, I got into it later in life, right?
Right.
And all the new like WizKids one came out and they're amazing. But I wanted some of the old like metal ones, and there's a few like really cool people that are making high quality, high cast, pewter ones that you can still get. I just love the way it like soaks up the paint, like the pewter, like when you throw on, it just like soaks it up so quick.
It's different for sure.
It
You're
is
right.
different. But I mean, you have to do all sorts of things like get a pin vise, right? And actually bore a hole in the side of the arm sometimes and into the body, and not breathe in the pewter dust, and then take a paper clip or some sort of like armature, like wire, basically, super glue that in so the arm doesn't like just fall off because it's not like a good contact point.
Right.
Like it's so much easier now that stuff's plastic, or you have the option for it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the big bads for Warhammer 40K
Mhm.
Is known as Abaddon, and the community nickname for him is Abaddon the Armless, because his big metal miniature, the arms were so heavy they would always fall off.
Oh,
So
really?
if you saw Abaddon, he was just walking around without arms.
He
All
was
right.
generally armless. That was
Wow.
hilarious.
Okay. That's wild.
Wild and crazy.
Abaddon, the Armless.
Yeah. Doesn't
Is he a
sound so scary.
Is he a Primarch?
No, he was he was like the second in command to Horus in the Horus Heresy.
Oh,
So
okay.
he's like the spiritual successor to Horus. So
Okay.
almost.
All right. So Horus is a Primarch.
Yes,
Okay.
was.
Was.
Son of the
But he,
Emperor, yeah?
Yeah.
but he did now, huh?
He
The,
did.
the Judas of Warhammer, right?
I say you, he did.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's responsible for that old Horus Heresy.
It is heresy.
You may have heard of.
So when did BattleTech, when did it originally originate? You say
So
that originally. When
so
did it
Battle-
first pop out? Yeah.
So BattleTech, I believe this is its 40th year.
Wow.
It's 40th anniversary, and it's Shadowrun's 30th anniversary, which are two products both by Catalyst Game Labs. So 40 years ago is what, 84?
FASA
that right?
Corporation published the first BattleTech game in 1984 called Battle Droids.
Yeah. Crazy. If anybody watching has any BattleTech lore they'd like to share with us, we'd love to hear it. There's always, something I don't know a lot about the lore. I always make a lot of mistakes in regards to like the inner sphere and the clans and the mercenaries and all the different factions. All I know is I like Ghost Bear because it's a polar bear, and that's cool. So
Conceptually, very, very cool. I know a bit. My good friend who I mentioned before, James, he's got a wall of BattleTech books. I think he's got all of them. So
okay,
I've absorbed some of that through osmosis. The lore is
Nice.
pretty fun, but they've had like 40 odd years, right? To build on that. The thing I like the most is Comstar is like kind of the big bad, and they're AT&T basically, but with an army.
Nice.
So they, like everybody who's going to war, all their communications have to go through Comstar to get anywhere. And if those guys go to war with you, they know what you're doing. They know everything you've done. They got the receipts.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Comcast comes to mind.
Yeah, they were just here today putting in the internet, and I was like, when they were backing up and it said Comcast, I was we had a couple people here at the store playing some BattleTech. I was like, the originators of what is to become Comstar. Look at these. It's like, did you ever watch on Netflix? Here we go. We're running into our Netflix conversation already.
Yay.
So on Netflix, there's that Love, Death, and Robots animated stuff. And then there's the 3 robots that are, is it 3? Yeah, 3 robots that are like exploring a dystopian area where, and they're like tourists. And one of them's talking about, how the humans basically fell due to their own hubris and all that. And they find this like Xbox, and it's basically the great grandfather of one of the robots, and he's like, they're making fun of him, and I was just like thinking of like that's Comcast to Comstar. They won the great telecommunications war of 2099, and became the sole controller of all things digital communication in our universe.
There's got to be some kind of Demolition Man mashup where Taco Bell won the Great Fast Food Wars too.
That's where you caught on. You knew what I was talking about.
The 3 shells are in there somewhere.
Right. He doesn't know about the 3 seashells.
Did you see the one Love and Robots? It is I can't remember how it started, but it's basically this guy super in love with his beautiful girlfriend, and at the very end, it's like this giant spider monster that like
Oh
gives off
yeah.
this like drug that makes him like hallucinate and think that it's like his
Mhm.
this beautiful fantasy of whoever it is, but it's really this like disgusting creature that's just like
Yeah.
eating on him for all eternity.
Yeah, and basically gives him hallucinations,
Yep.
and he's all emaciated
Yeah.
in the webbing. Yeah,
But in his
that
mind,
was
he's like,
freaky.
super jock guy, super happy, like at the beach, and like,
Well,
oh, that was
yeah, all I think a lot of those were really
they're
good.
all creepy.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
one where they're the farmers on the planet and like the Tyranids are basically breaking through the global shell protecting shield, and they have to basically fight them with mechs like BattleTech mechs.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
And then one
The
of my
cage
favorite
fighting one.
ones. Oh yeah, the cage fighting robots that are like bonded to their
Yep.
drivers. But my favorite one is the one where they're like in Afghanistan and it's two werewolves. Like they have a werewolf guy who's on the American side and he
Yeah.
has to fight the old werewolf up in the village. I was like, God, that was a cool freaking story. I was like, dang it, we need werewolves.
We haven't had a
Movie.
good werewolf movie in forever. Like,
Right.
isn't it Twilight the last time werewolves were on cinema? That's we got Dabber Raccoon's letting us know about Cranston Snords Irregulars, archaeologists who are digging up lost technology. Snords Irregulars are another one of my friend's favorite, if only for the name.
Nice.
But,
Well,
but they got
Snords is a cool name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you, Dabber
Dabber
Raccoon.
Raccoon.
That's a cool name too.
Dabba?
Dabba.
Raccoon?
I like the idea of being a. Are they digging up ancient technologies that humans have left behind on planets, or ancient alien technologies, or
Like
a
old
little bit of both?
Mesopotamia stuff?
Yeah.
I believe that they're digging up old human tech because there's a lot of I think is it lost tech? Because there's a period where they perfected everything and then it was all lost. So there's this hidden super technology that's all over the place.
Okay.
I can't remember the original name. I keep wanting to call it Archaeotech, but that's the 40K thing for old technology.
Little raccoon emoji. I like it. Yeah, Dabber Raccoon. If you know more to that story, please let us know what kind of tech that they're digging up that is ancient. Is it alien or old human tech? All right, so I've got all my mechs based in their mint green color, but it's actually this pastel sea foam that I was doing. So now I'm gonna let those dry a little bit, and I'm gonna prep a little bit of silver or gunmetal if I can find my gunmetal.
The gunmetal.
What a great color. It's one of my favorites.
It is great.
You know,
It does work.
I
Use
mean,
it all the time.
Right.
BattleTech also, like in its rules, it has it holds a unique space in my heart because I feel like the medium laser is one of the most well balanced weapons in any game ever, just compared to the rest of the game. And so I'm always looking for whatever game I'm playing, what their medium laser equivalent is, so you can balance like all the rest of the kit around it. So
Nice.
once I say, "Oh, that's the medium laser," that's what I mean. I know. Like,
Okay.
I'm on the center of the compass.
I played many games with you, Will, and sometimes I'm like, he knows just so much more, and it's just now I know.
They say they were looking for old human tech from Star League era. Lost tech was a popular word for it. Cool.
The Star League.
In the cash register. In the cash drawer. Yep.
Are you looking for the cash?
Now keys
in the register. It's in the register.
Yeah. All right.
I did a prime time on my guys. They are drying right now, so
nice.
I'm cheating as I do and painting other stuff, priming other
All right.
stuff as I wait and talk to you. But I can't
All right.
tell a fib. I can't tell a lie.
Ridiculous.
Well, that's nice of you. Thank you.
All
He's
right.
breaking the rules, but he's honest about it.
He's honest about it for sure.
Asking forgiveness instead of permission. Look at him go.
That's the best way to do it, I find.
Honesty is the best policy. Folk show.
So I'm using plate mail metal, part of the new War Paint Fanatic metal metallic line, and it's super smooth. I love it.
Yeah. And if anybody's thinking that the Star League is the same Star League from The Last Starfighter, maybe.
Ooh, Star League.
I
Kodan. I am
love
Zer
that
of the
movie.
Kodan Armada. Berserk. You and your precious star fighters.
Oh, I got something cool to show you guys.
Ooh.
So I was at Gen Con last year, right, with you, Rick,
Yeah.
and Roll a Crit. We had those guys on
Yeah.
not too long ago,
Yeah,
and
Aaron.
they sold out of the T-shirt when I was there that I wanted.
Mhm.
So I didn't. I ended up picking it up online. They still had it for
Okay.
2023, so definitely check out Roll a Crit. And then they had this beast.
What is that? Jesus.
It's a flag.
Oh my lord.
And
That's super cool.
Right now, you can get it online for $10.
With a kick butt griffin on
Go
it?
to Roll a Crit and check it out. But yeah, good friends over there, and that's an amazing deal, and it's good quality. So that's going to be hanging up over here, and maybe we'll get to see more of the basement.
I love it. That's super cool. And for those of you watching, if you didn't know this, Roll a Crit is the official merch company for Gen Con. So all the official Gen Con swag is produced by them, and they have multiple booths around the convention floor. So yeah, go check them out. If
Cool designs
you are
every
at
year
the
as
show.
well.
Yeah, for
Unique
sure.
stuff. And then they also produce Heroes of Barcadia.
They do. A super fun board game.
I think I have a copy of it here. Heroes of Arcadia. They're not a sponsor, but I just actually have to have this. And it can be a drinking game, or you can just fill it up with your favorite juice. But your hit points on little lines on your glass, and
Mm-hmm.
every time you take a hit, you take a sip, and it goes down. And when your glass is empty, you're dead. But it's kind of a cool dungeon crawl, party game, if you will.
For sure.
And
we're big
so
fans.
those gateway game, right? For those friends that might not want to get into role playing games, but this was kind of a fun one, and I got my whole family into it, which was kind of cool.
Nice.
They're like, we don't want to play that, and then by the end of it, they're like, we can play again. If you want to play again, we can play.
Yeah, we can do another one.
You can do it if you want. If it's up to you, you can want to do it. You can do it. Well, you liked it, didn't you? It was fine. It was fine. We can play again.
Yes, I love it when folks that are self-proclaimed non-gamers realize that they are indeed gamers. You just got to find the right one for them, and I feel like that's one of the things about Heroes of Arcadia is it's probably the right game for a lot of people. They just don't realize it until they've played it.
It's funny too when people are like, I don't play those games, role playing game stuff. And they're like, what do you play? And they're like, like Zelda, and like I play like Xbox a lot. And you're like, so you do enjoy games, right? You just don't. You just not used to the same kind of medium or platform,
right?
And that's actually playing with people that have played a lot of video games, but not a lot of like physical board games.
Right.
They catch on super quick, right? Because the mechanics are a lot, very much the same.
For sure.
And so I like that when you can bring people over to the path of the brush.
That's right. Or take what I like to call the uninitiated and initiate them into the the hobby of board games
Yeah.
or miniature gaming or just paint in general. It's one of the great things about our hobby, especially when they get like really into it, right? They didn't realize it was a itch that needed scratching, and now they're like fully involved and invested.
And we had a recent example of that at the store. Even
Hmm.
we had, well, I think it was maybe a month ago. Jacob
Right.
and I were playing a game of Conquest, and a guy
Okay.
was sitting there watching us because it was Jacob's first game. And so I was
Okay.
kind of showing Jacob the ropes, and the guy was watching us. He was really getting interested in how it was all played out. And so,
You're talking about Matt.
yes, yeah, he is. He
Yeah.
went all in.
Yeah.
He's been painting with a fury. The guy's just getting so much done. It's amazing.
Yeah.
He's like number
Uh,
2 in the league right now. I'm somehow
Mhm.
number 1, and I'm generally the bottom of the barrel loser when we were doing the Age of Sigmar stuff over here, and everyone's losing their minds that I'm somehow. And the trick was you just have to play a game like every other week, and you can probably do it. And yeah, he's like right there. I mean, at one point underneath me, and
Yep.
I think he's going to probably sweep the whole thing because I can't do the tournament. So I have to either, I have to infiltrate and
Why
lock
can't
him
you?
up for that day or something like
Why
that.
can't you do the tournament?
I have a wedding to go to all of a sudden.
Oh, that's crazy. I'm
Yeah.
glad that I was able to get my friends connected to get wed that day, so that you had to go.
I wish Jeff would, touch base with me when he's organizing these things. He just doesn't take my schedule into consideration.
When's your
Jeff.
family getting married again? Because we got to play some Conquest.
Right. It's not going to last, right? I mean, just kidding. You're listening.
Dang.
Oh, dang. Dang.
I'm just kidding. Come on.
Oh, that's crazy.
People only get married once.
So speaking of Matt and how you mentioned that he's furiously painting the miniatures for Conquest. For those of you watching, we would love to see the miniatures that you're painting, and you can do that by joining our Discord. If you haven't done so already, you can go to our Facebook page. There should be in the comments or the posts on there, 3 to 5 posts in, you should find a link to the Discord. If it is not working, just send us a message and say, hey, can I get the link to the Discord? We'd love to have you join it. You don't have to be local here in Lansing, Michigan, to be a part of that community with us. We love sharing our works in progress, our completed painting projects, and we'd love to see what you're painting and everything. So yeah, please check it out.
Yeah, we've had a few community members share stuff with us already. That's been awesome.
Yeah.
It's so good to see.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I had to retire for a night. I was like, this is, you see something that's like just that good, and you're like, I'm retiring for the night.
Yeah, for the night is like, well, I'm done. Yeah, I'll pick my brush up tomorrow. Yeah, we've got some. Well, what's great is we've got people of all aspects of the painting hobby in the Discord, from beginners to like some serious competitors, right? So the benefit of having that is, one, you can get inspired to see what the potential you can get for painting is, and also you get to see the um, techniques that maybe you want to learn, and because they're already part of our community, they're willing to obviously share those techniques with
Yeah.
everybody in there. So it's also a great platform to learn, and that's, I think, one of the best parts of the hobby is learning a new technique and sharing the things you have already learned with others. So
And
Oh,
you at Hoplet, you have a great Thursday tomorrow. You have a great paint day, right? It's kind of
yep.
like people can come, they can bring their own paints or their own miniatures, but you supply paint as well for the Thursdays and
Yep.
miniatures, right? It's almost
I
like
do.
free paint take every Thursday at Hoplet.
That's right. So this is paint night. In the old store, which was only 1,100 square feet, we would get sometimes upward of 18 to 20 people in there, and it was crazy to think that we were exceeding the fire marshal's limits on paint night. But in the new space, we have just in the play area, and which is also the paint area, is 3 times the size of the old store, right? So there's so much space for people to come in. They can paint. We have a paint bar set up now where they can
Oh, that's cool.
on any day someone can come in and set up and paint. They won't get a free miniature on those days. That's designated to Thursdays only. But they can come in, they can sit there, they can watch the traffic drive by because it's right in front of the window. Because we want people to not just see what's going on the street here in Lansing, Michigan, which is super fun to watch. It's like reality TV every day. But we want people walking by to also go, oh, what are they? Oh, they're painting miniatures. That's cool. Let's go in and find out how we can do that too. So it's a lot of fun stuff. And yeah, we just want to grow that community. So we make it available.
Yeah,
That's
that's awesome.
It's always been a real sociable crowd every time I've been there for it too. That's been something I really love.
My favorite was one of the first episodes when they were in the new store, and Will was assisting on the paint, and he was so enthralled with the community around him. We lost Will for the whole show. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Like Will,
that was a fun episode. Yeah.
Will, tuning in. No, we've lost him.
Yeah. Yeah, it was one of the young ladies that lives in one of the apartments above the store. Her name's Monique, and she came down and wanted to paint too. And yeah, you got to paint, and it was amazing.
That was super fun. I still got the model, like her style influenced how I painted the rest of that unit for my army. And I know she was going to Thailand over the holidays to help keep an eye on elephants. I hope she got back okay.
She did. Wow. She actually stopped by the store recently.
Sweet. Oh
yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, if you see her and I don't, tell her I said hi. I want to show her that mini that she painted.
Sure will.
No, just great community based around painting in general. Yeah. But no, super happy for you, man. I was in the store today. Picked up that boat chosen that I showed you, and then pick up the BattleTech clan that we're painting today, and it just looks beautiful. I mean, the shelves, so it's spacious, it's full, it's like super clean. Like sometimes you go into game stores and there's it's like a bodega and there's like a little bit of dust on the top of everything. You know what I mean? And it's just like not a clean place. And your store was super clean. Not saying that it will always be that way. No, I'm just kidding. But it's it was pretty awesome to see.
Yeah, well, in the old store, we kind of had that bodega feel because it's so weird. I feel like our old store was was like a TARDIS, right? In that you could go in there, you could walk around, but you may have to shimmy around maybe a couple displays or whatever. But we brought everything from the old store, which was again only 1,100 square feet, and the retail area was maybe 800 square feet or less. And we brought it all over here. We've gotten no new product since the move, and because we just moved. Yesterday was our first day open in the new store, and it's full. All right, it's like the new store is, I think, 1,500 square feet just for the retail, and it's full.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It looks chic. It's nice, and the play area is like well organized, beautiful tables out there, and it's like
thanks. Yeah,
it's a treat.
It's a treat. Yeah, and we're hoping that the community will definitely fall in and come in and have a good time. And as a matter of fact, I think we have 10 people here now playing games.
Oh man, awesome.
We even have Star Wars Shatterpoint demo going on over at one of the tables. We've got 4 or 5 people playing Magic Commander. And then some people building some models for a game called Drop Zone. We had some BattleTech players here earlier, and a couple just left. They were sitting right next to me during the whole time on the stream. And they were playing a board game, and they just finished up and left. So, yeah.
And you got the board game library there. It's no joke. You've got back 1, 2, 3, 4 plus the overflow. You almost have a game store of library games that people can test out.
Yeah, we have. I think we have close to 500 games out right now. But in total, if I were to take all the games from the game library, because we have a bunch in totes, it'd be close to 1,000 games. that people can just come in and play. They pull it off the shelf, have a seat, and play it. Um, and do you want to know where I like got all my inspiration from? And this isn't cliche by any means. A lot of the inspiration behind the community building for my store has come from Gen Con. My experiences when I was younger going to Gen Con and the people I met and the games I played was all about like, there was never anybody that was like, I'm sorry, young lad, this isn't a game for you. They're always like, oh, hey, come check this out. This is great. You're going to love it. And I did. And the game library there was awesome. And again, you could be looking at a game on the library shelf and someone goes, oh, you want to play that? I was like, I don't know who you are. And they're like, that's cool. We're best friends now. And we'd go play that game. It
Right.
was, it's a lot of my younger pre-military, like when I was in high school and I was getting into gaming. I went to my first Gen Con in the 80s, and I wasn't sure what to expect. But the fact that it was just so welcoming and very community driven, like I know people that only see each other at Gen Con every year. That is their vacation to see their friends game and experience what all is available to them at that show. And I feel like that was a big part of what an influence to why I'm a big fan of, not like, we're not a magic store, we're not a Warhammer, we're a store that our focus is community. And again, Gen Con is a huge influence on why I want it to be like that. So thank you, Gen Con. and here we are on Gen Con TV doing this. It's crazy, right?
Fast forward, right?
Like
Right.
doing what you love or something.
Yeah, it's nuts to find oneself doing something for a organization on a platform that if you would have told 15-year-old me this is what I'd be doing when I'm not 15, I would have told you to go expletive yourself. So
When do you think it became um, like board games, as just for teens or for children? You know what I mean?
mhm,
To I feel like it's not more acceptable as adults, or it's like really a lot of games are geared for adults. It's kind of maybe always
mhm.
been that way. But what was your like take on it? Because some people are like, maybe don't understand
Uh,
just the hobby in general.
sure, I think that's a really interesting question because growing up when I was real little, every Sunday we'd go to my grandparents' house and we'd play board games. But the our parents and grandparents didn't. They would watch Hee Haw and the Lawrence Welk show and the Incredible Hulk and all that stuff as they would come on, and we'd be playing the games. But I feel like if, and again, this is just subjective. It's not my, and it's just my opinion. I'm sure there are other vastly better opinions or data driven opinions, but I feel like when Catan hit the market, the American market, it opened up a lot of eyes to the hobby of board gaming as an adult thing. Outside of like euchre and other card games, I feel
Yeah.
like that was a thing for the board game, like a resurgence for the board game space. I might be wrong, but that's my opinion. I also feel like maybe Ticket to Ride also was a big
Mhm.
influence and help to that as well. So,
Yep, guilty of that. And in college, I mean, as a kid growing up, there was some anime style board games and comics and comic style games and stuff like that
mm-hmm,
in middle school. And then I kind of lost touch with that, early high school,
yeah,
things like that. And then in college, Settlers of Catan, right? Catan,
all right,
um, Citadels, Carcassonne, like playing some of those games and some like quicker like little card games, and like the more party games and stuff like that.
mm-hmm,
But they would like rotate in, and then
right,
it kind of went away again, for another 10, 15 years, and then some friends brought out Settlers again, and
mm-hmm,
then here we go.
right. No, I can see that that is a story of experience that I've heard many times from people that are right around your age, um, saying that they played Catan in college and then found themselves uh, not around or those kind of influences, and then they found their way back to it,
Mhm.
which is really fun to to hear those stories when people come in, or if you're at like even a Comic-Con or other shows that have board gaming going on. It's always interesting the stories that people say. It's like, oh, when I was a kid, I played Monopoly. In college, I found Catan, and now I play freaking everything. Right? It's like cool. I love it. I feel like Will has some good stories in that arena as well.
Mine are a little bit old school, or maybe a lot bit old school. My buddies and I, because I used to have host like, well, I've told you guys I used to host like a ninja movie night with
Mhm.
Mhm.
my friends, or I'd host like painting times with my friends too.
Yep.
Um, Ages ago, I think I was starting when I was like 19. Wednesdays
Okay.
were chess night.
Oh, fun.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, everybody. I'd get like 10 guys in my apartment, and we just rotate out partners all night long, just talking crap and playing chess. We did a
Nice.
lot of that.
Okay. That's pretty cool. I know that in when I was in the military, I know this is kind of like a lot of people are gonna grab their pearls and go,
Oh,
I
oh,
was in the Navy, right? So I was in the Navy, and I only did one tour on a ship, pearls, right? But when I was on the ship, me and a bunch of other sailors would play either Magic the Gathering in the mess hall, or we'd play Risk anywhere we could set up a board.
yeah. Risk,
And
I guess, was probably one of the first,
hmm
6-hour 4 ways. That's the start of it all. I have an original Risk here somewhere.
nice.
And the pieces are weird. They're not like little. They're little like cubes almost, right?
Yep.
How long would a game of Risk take you?
I would say between 3 and 4 hours
Yeah.
would be a standard game for us.
And if you had libations going, you may never finish the game.
Well, we never had that on the boat, so
Yeah.
that wasn't a problem. Our biggest problem was if, if something were to go down and we had to go to battle stations, or a training evolution was taking place. So we had to just leave the board set up wherever it was and come back to it later. So,
That's fun.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was college again. It was some Risk, high school and college, and yeah.
Hmm.
It was one of my
So,
dreams for a while to get out to the like the parks in Chicago where they have chessboards out, like tables out.
mhm.
Finally got to do that one year. That was awesome.
Oh, like around the Bean in downtown Chicago,
Yeah,
in the park.
you
Yeah,
just go up
that'd
to
be
That's
cool.
somebody who's waiting for a
pretty
game
hard.
and just like, "Hi, friend, let's play some chess."
That's
Okay.
awesome. Yeah, what a great game, right?
Yeah, I still play chess with my dad. Um, I ended up getting him to play Star Wars Unlimited also just recently.
What?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
That's
Um,
amazing.
he kicked my butt because I was like basically playing for him as I was doing the demo, But I
Right?
was like, "You want to play this card? You want to play this card?" But it's crazy. I mean, I feel like there's a lineage to all games, and chess is like one of the ancient games, right? I mean, like the game of of kings.
Yep. It's been around a long time. That Mancala
Oh,
Go. I sold a copy.
Mancala, scream it from the rooftops. I
I
got
no,
sold
Mancala
a
on
copy
here.
of Go today, which I thought was really fun.
What
Right?
was it?
Go, the black and white stone game that
yeah.
is very popular in Japan.
Oh, okay. Different game, but have you played Sushi Go? That's a super fun game.
Super fun coincidence. Same person that bought Go bought Sushi Go today.
Really?
Yeah. Were you here when that happened?
No, I should have been. I think I made that sale. Am I getting commission? What's happening?
No, what's going on
Oh,
here?
no.
That's crazy.
That Sushi Go was fun though. That's one of those games you can definitely get your friends to play, which is nice.
Agreed.
I used to have a pack of Sushi Go in my car at all times, just because like, you want to play a game? The answer generally was no. I do not want to play a game.
You were that guy?
I
Oh
was the game.
no!
I was the Sushi Go guy.
All
Do you
right,
always
all
do you
right.
have games on you when you go places? I tend to travel with a few games.
Yes. I usually when I go see my kids in Virginia,
Uh-huh.
I usually bring one or two games that I
Okay.
want to introduce them to. But I'm also lucky that my youngest is likes playing a few games. One of them that he likes playing is Shobu by Smirk and Dagger, which is also known as Sumo Stones. Was like its original name. You're basically pushing your opponent's stones off of little boards. It's got a very chess-like vibe to it. And then another one
Okay.
that we play a lot, and if my daughter Linnea is around, we'll play Mysterium. So
Okay. Is that the one kind of like the haunted house and you play as ghosts? Like someone's.
yeah, someone was murdered and you're the investigators, and there's a ghost that is communicating with you, but they can only communicate with yes and no answers, and those answers are in the form of like one tap on the table for yes, two for no.
And you
So
just learned Mysterium.
there you go.
That sounds fun.
It's
The
actually
one,
very fun.
the game where you knock the pieces off of the other stuff, was that Shobu? Is that what you said?
Yep, Shobu. We have a copy of it here in the game library. So if you're ever down here, Will, and you want to learn how to play it, I can definitely show you. It's a lot
Okay.
of fun.
You
Yeah,
can't show them. You got to Shobu.
Yeah, the
that's
Shobu
right.
one.
I got to Shobu him for sure.
I
And
see my
that's
kids liking that one.
and that's the wild, crazy ride that this show is, right? It's
Right.
it's the Lord of Tangents.
Agreed. The funny thing about Shobu is how my son, like, one of the reasons I like it isn't just because I enjoy the game and the play and all that stuff that goes along with it, but I also enjoy the fact that my son fell in love with it when he first learned how to play it. He and I were in New York at New York Toy Fair. We were at the Alliance Game Distributors booth at the show, and my son was there, and they were doing demos. Kurt from Smirk and Dagger was demoing Shobu, demoed it to my son. He loved it, and then my son demoed it for him almost the entire weekend.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, it was great, and so that was a big reason to my enjoyment of the game is now I know it's something that my son will always want to play with me, right?
And
Yeah,
how old is
those,
he now?
He's 18, and
Okay.
he's graduating high school in 2 weeks. So
wow.
yeah,
Whole life
Congrats, kid.
ahead of him. It's amazing.
yeah. He was just at a convention. So he did his first. Um, I'm going to go to my first convention by myself out of state this past weekend. He flew down to Atlanta from Virginia Beach to go to a convention called MomoCon, which
Okay.
is a very pop culture slash anime, or maybe anime slash pop culture. It might be primarily anime, and he's a big fan of that genre of pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
And so he went down there, stayed with some friends, and enjoyed the show, and made it home safely. And it was a very stressful time for his mother, and mildly stressful for me,
Just mildly.
um, just mildly. He's flown by himself a few other times, but mainly to come see me and go to Gen Con. It's one of the things I like to do with him if he's available and able to do so is take him to Gen Con. He didn't go last year, but he went the year before pandemic and the year after pandemic and everything reopened. And he's probably going to be going with me this year as well. So
Those
pretty
things you get to
exciting
share with
stuff.
your kids, you never forget that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So again, for everybody watching, I think it is again, yeah, geez, I just had a flashback, almost as though the timelines have converged or split. Like we're in an alternate timeline to what should have been or could have been. I don't know if
Oh, I feel you. Yes.
did you guys feel that?
I absolutely did. Yeah,
I'm curious if they fired up the collider again, but I have this vague memory that something happened in 1994 that we should have all been aware of that should be affecting us today. Something about a runaway planet from outer space colliding between the Earth and the Moon, unleashing cosmic destruction, destroying mankind, civilization cast in ruins. It's weird, and it's like I see like what should have been like 2,000 years from now or from then, a strange new world full of savagery, sorcery, and super science. It's weird, but
yeah.
wait, I
Does
also
anybody,
sense or
anybody
feel
help
like
us?
I think there's someone there that'll help him. He'll break his bonds, fight for freedom with his companions, like this cat-like creature called Ukla, the Mock, and a princess named Ariel, which I find very strange. She doesn't look like a mermaid at all in my vision here. But with his courage, his strength, and his fabulous sun sword, he'll fight for freedom. And I believe his name was Thundar, the Barbarian. And we should all give praise to him for saving that other alternate timeline. Thank you, Thundar. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Sundar.
You guys tuning in? We do this every episode. I don't know for the good or the bad.
I think it's to the point where it might be getting to the bad.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, what's happening?
I know Dabber Raccoon said he's off to get his sun sword. So
As everybody should. I
You
feel
have
like
a
at that
sun
point we
sword?
should all. I think we should all have one, right?
right?
And not just a sun sword, a fabulous sun sword, right?
Fabulous sun sword. Fabulous or fabulous?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It could be either, and it would be
Right.
amazing, right?
Every
That's
flavor
awesome.
of fabulous.
So I'm going to do like on the mechs here. It has these little ridges that look like where like a power battery would be within the gun systems, and some other spots. Um, I'm considering using. I had a coil,
A Tesla
plasmatic
coil?
bolt. Well, ooh, I wish. Plasmatic bolt or radiation glow. I might use both of them for different reasons. Uh, Even though I know that they are not at all complementary to each other.
That
I
could
just
be
feel
an
like,
interesting like wet blend.
yeah, I also feel like this is like one of the reasons why it's such an embarrassment to be dubbed Minty's uh, Marauder Brigade, because the color just doesn't coalesce with all the other fun things that go on with the
Oh,
mech.
last 10 points.
Thanks. That's my big word of the day. Brought to
And
you
that's your
by
big word of the day.
The Army Painter, Fanatic, the new paint line by the Army Painter.
Oh man.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Now it's starting to sound like it's some sort of commercial for our sponsor, the Army Painter.
Nah,
Maybe no cap.
that's not until 8:30.
Oh. Tuck it back in. Tuck it in. Tuck it in.
Oh.
They only paid for 8:30.
All right, here we go. Dang it, it actually looks cool. I want it
was
to
the
look
whole idea.
embarrassing. I want it to look embarrassing.
Yeah.
Why does this paint have
Dad,
to be so cool?
plasmatic glow was too cool, Dad.
It's not fair. Marsha.
So,
There you
do
go.
you guys, on the subject of the MomoCon, do you guys have any anime that you like? I don't know if you're anime fans, but is there any that have at least piqued your interests that you've watched?
Are you talking like a one-off movie or like a whole-on series?
Sure.
That's a great question. For me, recently, I would say that I really enjoy One Piece. My youngest son again and my oldest son, they both watch a lot of anime, and they had told me to watch One Piece. I tried it, wasn't a fan of the cartoon. Then the live action came out. I watched the entirety of it, and I really enjoyed it. Not just because of the fact it was live action, but I got the message of what they're trying to do really quick, whereas the cartoon kind of that didn't give me that message fast enough, I guess. And
Faster. Yeah.
yeah, and but now I'm watching the actual animated series, and sure, there's some episodes that are like these weird filler episodes that don't really drive the story, which is fine. But the overarching uh, moral of everything in it is it's so wholesome that it's like, okay, I get it and I love it. The other one that I recently watched, and I'm guessing it does fall under the anime umbrella, was Blue Eyed Samurai
Oh, okay.
on,
Yeah.
on Netflix. That was so good. So yeah, those are my like current ones. Obscure did anime series K, Century Beast, Total Furry Bait, but I like it. Okay,
Century Beast.
obscure old anime series. Yeah, Total Furry Bait, but I like it. Okay, that's cool. Dabber Raccoon.
I'm
How about
starting to
you
get some
two?
reaction off this raccoon fella. That's okay.
Nice.
That's okay on our watch. Hey, I gotta say, one of the first ones I saw was Venus Wars, like going way back.
Oh yeah,
Demon, like original Demon City, Ninja Scroll was I
Ninja
like
Scroll.
that was like one of the tops for me. It was like Ninja
Mhm.
Scroll.
Freaking love that one.
Akira,
And Ninja
was
Scroll was
huge.
great.
I still have the Criterion Edition DVD somewhere.
What?
I'm looking around like it's over here. It's not.
Super nerd. Nerd alert.
Here?
Yeah, those were solid. There's definitely
Yeah.
Appleseed. Was cool.
Oh yeah.
I guess original was Robotech,
Mm-hmm.
the Macross Saga with Rick Hunter. In mid-May,
Yeah.
and it came out. It was Harmony Gold. Had the license for it or whatever, and they put it
Mhm.
out. And my brother loved it.
Okay.
He watched the crap out of it, and so I remember waking up in the morning being real little, and he was watching it, and I got a glimpse of it. And later on, I bought the VHS like box set of it for him. And at that point,
Okay.
he could care less. He was like college, I think, at the time, and I think it was like 14 or 15. And I was like, just this is cool stuff. But then I
All
also
right.
like the Ring, like the Lord of the Ring. It was lost, for eternity for a while,
Oh
and then I just
no.
recently got back into watching it.
Okay. How about you, Will?
Um, the first ones I watched were way back when was the Bubblegum Crisis.
Oh yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
That's really really old school. And the video store that I would rent them at, unfortunately, I don't think the people who own that place like actually like watched any of them and knew how to rate them, because like right next to Bubblegum Crisis, they also had like hentai.
Oh, good for
Oh,
So,
them.
so oops. Um,
wow.
but
That's interesting. Like, yeah, some of those like anime, cult classic, really weird stuff. Like, would be like
Mhm.
over there,
yeah, but like my more current favorite, One Punch Man for sure. First season,
Okay.
it's got one of those intros that you have to watch the entire thing every time. It's just so good. The song just gets you going. It's like the A-Team theme song.
Okay.
You want to wake up to something great, One Punch.
Okay.
Um, but I've recently watched Delicious in Dungeon. I've been
Ooh.
picking that up. That's
I watched a couple episodes of that. Very interesting.
surprisingly great.
Okay.
Really makes you like a dwarf, which is usually dwarves are just kind of like, if you're not Gimli, then why are you in the show?
Right.
I prefer
That's
Dwarf.
funny.
I prefer Dwarf myself. Is
Okay.
that Tim Conway? You remember Dwarf?
Dork Tower?
No, Dwarf.
Dwarf. I think it was Tim Conway.
He's
Man,
like
that's a throwback, dude.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wow.
Wow.
I like to whip out these throwbacks.
You do.
They just come
Half
to
of
me. I thought I purged this information, and somehow
it just resurfaces.
it's still there. Yeah.
All right. That's funny. All right.
This green is not looking as fun as that blue, I gotta say. Like olive drab, I'm kind of like, now I want to do neon something.
I mean, I don't know how well you can see it in the on the camera here, but um, tell me to make my adjustments here.
Yeah. Well, those are your
Bring it
thumbs.
down. Bring it down. Bring it down just a little bit more.
Just a little bit more.
There.
There we go.
There. Oh yeah. Is that freehand?
Yes, it's freehand.
That's the Kit Fox Prime, is it? That's a little guy.
Yeah, the little guy. Yeah.
When he backs up, he'd make a noise like this. Beep, boop, beep, boop,
I can see
beep,
that.
boop. You know what I mean?
And this guy with his stuff in his
It's looking great.
I think those are going to be, yeah,
Oh,
like I
yeah.
said, I wanted it to look weird, but it actually looks kind of okay.
Yeah, it looks good.
Dang
That's
it.
looking real
Dang it.
And the bigger guy, that's the Warhawk Prime.
Nice. He's saying words I don't understand, but I agree with them.
It's just that, well, I've got the cards right here. I'm cheating.
Oh, do you?
Yes. I wanted to get them
Nice.
out so I'd remember which ones they were.
Okay.
The silhouettes have changed a bit since the technical readout 3055 that I got way back when.
What? 3055.
3055.
Was that enough timeline that was branched off from the great catastrophe of 1994?
That's only 100 and like what like 130, 150 years. What number did you say here?
Yeah.
Probable? Plausible.
Yeah.
Probable?
Plausible.
Right.
Fusion engines, giant stompy robots.
AI.
It definitely could and should happen.
It could and should.
Could and
Yeah.
should.
If Elon Musk has anything to do with it.
There is a guy in Japan who made a mech and he's selling it for like $4 million.
Nice.
And
It's
I've
one of
never
those
really-
times where you got to be like, let's go, Google. Get it done.
I've never really wanted to win the lottery until I saw that a dude made a mech that I could drive around. Like I could go help put out fires.
That was a
That
fun.
makes
That was a fun game. If I won the lottery, like what would I spend it on? And Rick, if you won the lottery, and if you weren't cursed, because you're supposed to win the lottery, and apparently you're cursed, right?
I don't know about that.
Wait,
You haven't
what?
heard that?
No, I never heard that.
Oh,
I would say, I like, what are we talking here? Give me a number on this lottery.
I think you got to win at least like 400. Nah, let's say $20 million. So it's like I feel like $1 million is obtainable in a lifetime. If you worked real hard at it. So any more, and you might be able to make more. If you got a business and you're really going at it. But it's like Joe
Sure.
Schmo. So I feel like he's gonna be at least 20 million. 20 million to 400 million would be, but let's say
Those are
20 million.
102 million.
Let's say okay, 100, 1.2,
1.2 million. That's it. Yeah, put two
102
finds.
million.
102 million. You're saying?
I would,
102
if I had
million.
$102 million, I would, or no, I'm sorry. If I had $1.2 million, right, I would buy a house, not full. I'd put it on a mortgage. I'd put a brand new roof on it and new siding if necessary. Like a 25-year roof. I'd
It's
put
a
the rest-
mobile home.
No.
Oh, okay.
Like I'd buy a decent house, not nothing like gross. A couple $100,000 here in Lansing, $300,000 home. That's a nice house, right? Maybe 400,000 because I might want to have a pool. Anyways,
So you have 100 million. You have 100 million here.
I thought we 100 million. I'd still do that, right?
Okay.
I'd set up a trust fund. I would, because at that point, that house is going to be my house till I die, right?
All right.
So I don't need to worry about another house. I would probably facilitate some sort of driving service because I don't like to drive. So not just Uber. I'd probably hire a driver, right? Just to have someone that can pick me up, take me where I need to go, and do things, and probably just go with me wherever I go. We call him Bestie, even though his name is probably like Dwayne. But we'll just say, "Come on, bestie, let's go," and he'd probably be real frustrated with that, wanting to choke me out and kill me. But the money would be good, so he'd be fine.
And he won't ever get
then
on a plane, like unless you knocked him out, right?
right, and
Yeah.
then I would probably go around to like I'd do some traveling. I'd want to go to some of the bigger miniature painting competitions in Europe, not to compete, just to watch and take some classes and just kind of see how that level of painting uh, is just done, right? Um, I'd want to go visit a lot of the headquarters of some of the game companies I like working with. So I would like to go to the UK and visit like Steam Forge Games and Warlord and GW and um, see Matt and his wife from Loki Battle Mats. I would make my UK trip a game like a nerd fest, going and
You're
seeing
visiting.
all the
You're going to visit. You're going to
right.
tour.
Yeah. And then after that, I wouldn't do anything. I would still maintain the store. I'd probably facilitate opening a Hoplite 3.0 that served food and alcohol, um, which was I think the next evolution of the store, anyways, eventually. But other than that, I'd sit on the rest. I wouldn't spend it, you know.
Smart.
So,
Nice. You're a potential angel investor for other things you think would be good, because that's
oh yeah,
it's a good amount as a businessman, business
hmm
starting. Like that'd be a good start for that.
oh
And then
yeah,
I
for
was
sure.
looking at like you had a not a humble home, but you could get a bigger house, right? But
Sure.
like the Warren Buffett of rich dudes. Is kind of like how you'd be living life, because he lived in a ranch, I think, or something, like a very small
hmm
house his whole life, and
Yeah, the guy.
he's down on the rich man. He's sixth now, but he still has
Uh-huh.
133 billion dollars. That's like
Yeah,
nothing to shake a stick at, right?
right. And he also like eats like a egg McMuffin every day for breakfast. He goes to McDonald's, gets one egg McMuffin, maybe a cup of coffee or a cup of orange juice, and that's his breakfast every morning. It's like, wow, it's crazy.
Yeah,
But that's kind of how I think how I would live in that capacity.
that's
No,
fair.
nothing gaudy, but I would enjoy it, and I would make sure that my friends uh, got to enjoy it. Like I feel like I would probably get every year at Gen Con, I would get a suite, and I would probably have a gathering at least one night during that weekend of friends to come up and hang out and maybe enjoy something weird I'm currently invested in or doing. Like
Slippery
I don't
slope,
know,
though. Slippery slope.
I don't know. I mean, come up and be like, hey, let's play this game from one of the kids from Michigan State that I'm backing his play on
Yeah,
getting this game published. And then, you never know from that, one of the publishers would go, ooh, we want to publish this game, right? Something like that. Nothing like ridiculously lewd or anything.
I know. I was
Also good food. There would have to be because that's one of the things I really like about going to conventions is I eat way better than any place else.
I always said I would have a new pair of socks. Didn't you say this as well too before? I have a new pair of socks every day. You know
Every
what I
day.
mean?
Well, it's funny you say that. I've told you this story, haven't I?
I did know that, but I also agree.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So when I was working for Five Finger Death Punch and we were on tour, um, every venue we'd stop at, you drop off a ride. You send them a rider in advance, so they'd have things there prepared for when the band would arrive, to include food and some other things. I would always include a package of 12 or 8 socks, like black calf high socks at every venue, so that between venues, every day I'll just change my socks and throw them away and put on a brand new pair, fresh, brand new pair every day. It was my one little thing that kept me sane on tour. So
That was
yeah,
your excess.
that was my excess, and it was, I mean, what, $8? There was they would have to get like weird water and uh, hummus and all this other weird stuff I think it was weird. That would have to be there in the band's green room. Um, a couple extra $100 of stuff.
And a lot of
And
times, go ahead. You live
I would just get socks.
because it was those riders. If you read the Walk This Way, the Aerosmith biography, they did it, and they wanted Steven Tyler wanted fresh turkey on the bone, and they would have cold cuts or something. You'd be like, yeah, this is garbage, and they wouldn't play, because if something, if they didn't have what they asked for, the electrical could be off. They could get electrocuted on stage, or maybe they, the lighting could be off or something like that. So it was like a tell of, just bad quality venue.
Or attention to detail.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Who was it that didn't like the brown? Said they didn't want any brown M&Ms.
I don't remember. That was a huge thing.
That was from Wayne's World, right? But it was a real thing. Was it Ozzy?
I don't know who it was as far as the artist.
Who it really was, but that was supposed to be a real, based off a true story.
Yeah, for sure. That's super funny.
I'd have to beat him to death with his own. Or wait, he's like, I had to find a brandy glass full of brown M&Ms, or Ozzy wouldn't go on. I had to find a sweet shop up the road.
Right. No brown M&Ms.
I had to beat him to death with his own shoe. Yeah.
We should probably do a shout out to all of our sponsors, huh?
Oh, yeah.
So let's do that. Big shout out to Hoplite Games, where we're broadcasting live from today. Also to Tabletop Gurus, which is Mark's fun little news channel and updates and all fun things, that involving gaming, the gaming verse, if you will. And also to Game Envy, who makes the beautiful Phalanx synth brushes, also our collapsible water cup, so we can clean off our brushes. And they also make the Exemplar wet palette, which is super cool. Big shout out to the Army Painter, who is our exclusive paint partner and partner in play, not just for the show, but also for our paint and takes that we do at different conventions across the United States. If you didn't know that, we run the paint and takes at C2E2 and New York Comic Con, Capital City Comic Con in Lansing, Michigan, and also the Michigan GT. And I just had some fun conversations today with another con organizer, and we might be picking up 4 more conventions throughout the year. So really excited about that. So when we get that news in, I'll let you all know where else you can find us. And besides that, the Army Painter is also a big supporter of the kids programs that we provide and our podcast, the Citizen Gamer podcast. So big shout out to the Army Painter, also to Gen Con and Gen Con TV for allowing us the opportunity to come on every week and talk a story with you and enjoy the hobby of painting miniatures. That is one of my favorite things to do, and to get to hang with Mark and Will every week is a blessing. And so awesome, Gen Con. And how you, the viewers, can help support all of this is hit that heart, hit that bell, so that you follow Gen Con TV if you don't already. And also, the bell allows you to get alerts. So when Gen Con TV goes live, you'll get to see all the cool programming that is provided. And pick and choose what you like. It's all amazing. So besides us, there's Blood on the Clock Tower, there's Actoroki, there's Roll with Rem Alternus, there's Table Takes presented by Gen Con, which is like the weekly news on Fridays, Sarah's Table, Peter versus the Machine, and Dressed to Quest. So there's so many different amazing programs on this channel with so many talented content creators that you're going to find the thing that you enjoy. And we'd love to have you as part of the Gen Con TV community. And thank you for allowing us to be a part of your community for when you're viewing and hanging out with us. So again, if you haven't done so yet, hit that bell.
Hi,
Evening. What's up? We got some people joining us. We love that.
People.
Yeah.
Last week, T-Cat, I don't know if you saw it, but we shared the picture you put up on our Discord of that Bowsette miniature you were working on. That was
Mhm.
great. I love
I want to see the front
the
side.
texture you're putting into the hair.
We want to see the front side of that. If you have more images,
Yeah, please. That was
share 'em
awesome.
out.
Agreed.
Love
All right, so
seeing
I'm taking some green skin from the Warpaints Fanatic, and I'm going to do a couple spots where it's going to be a little darker, like where maybe just some of the plates on some of these, so that it doesn't just have the minty green. It might have a little bit extra on a few spots. But I'm really curious what it's going to look like when I start adding chocolate chips for the mint
They should be
chocolate.
bullet holes.
That's true. They could be bullet holes. That would be cool. All right. So I got to ask though, seriously, are you guys hearing any of the background conversation going on here at the store?
No, not at all.
I love it. That
the
is
sound situation's working out.
I agree. I was
Yeah,
a
we're calling
little
it a
worried about it.
situation.
I was a little worried about it. And now I'm a lot less worried about it.
You're having to redo your bust for Gen Con at the moment? You had to strip some layer. Is that the same one? Or it's always scary when you got to like peel back some paint.
Oof,
Yep,
yes.
apply some chemistry.
That is one of the scary aspects of the hobby, for sure. What do you two use if you have to strip paint off of a mini?
I just
More dollars. I just rebuy the mini. I say, screw it.
Dang. All
I
right.
already won the lotto, yo. Look around.
Look at this guy over here.
Just kidding. Just
Oh,
kidding.
it's a different
Bang,
piece.
bang.
Okay. Well, show us that
Bang,
one too
bang.
if you get a chance. Love to see it.
I finally got my slap chop done.
Nice. Well, we have 3 episodes to do these bad boys.
Yeah, I'm kind of doing a Zenithal Prime top down, and we do it Path of the Brush. I do have an airbrush here, a lovely Harder Steinbeck from Yamini.
Nice.
But this is kind of a fun,
Mhm.
relaxing thing to do it this way. Old
Right.
school, if you will, as we've been talking many old school cartoons and games. All right, I can show off a couple of things, but you can actually see the detail in this guy now.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
That's this little feller. This one's neat. You said this is a quick guy. He
Yeah.
almost kind of looks like RoboCop 2.
Oh, yeah, it sure does. Citizen.
Are you talking about Ed 209?
At 209, yeah.
I wanted to be Ed 209 when I grew up.
Did you
Oh
really?
man, what happened?
I did not get awesome machine gun arms.
Also, the timeline diverged in 1994.
That's true. Yeah, that threw it
Oh,
all
sure.
off. All the plans.
This guy's classic looking. I think this guy's pretty neat. Just like a classic mech little guy,
Is that the Hunchback,
of Notre Dame.
or just the mech called the Hunchback?
I think
No,
it is.
is it? Let me look. I like to say nay, and it is. Where'd the cards go?
I don't know. Where
A
did your
case of
cards
who?
go?
A case of who done it. All right.
T-Cat said she's in her ugly phase at the moment. As long as you see where the pretty phase is going to come up, right?
Nice.
They all end up in this kind of blotchy moment until you get in there and put in the layers.
Mm-hmm.
We can switch it up to either be Alex or Mio Radic. This guy was Mio Radic, Star Captain, Clan Wolf in Exile. The unit was
Yeah,
a
but
Beta
that's
Galaxy.
the individual who drives the mech. What's the name of the mech?
Does it say on these cards?
It should.
Maybe on the other side.
Special pilot abilities. They got their like little catchphrases. Surratt, there goes the last gun. Yield. Just another fly to swat.
Nice.
Oh, here we go. Keep going through your cards, Mark. All right. Right. He is a pack hunter, a standard pack hunter, or a
Pack-
two pack hunter. And you're supposed to put these in sleeves, right? And hit them with like a little wet erase
You can,
or
for
dribble
sure.
erase.
Yep.
So yeah, this guy is your standard pack hunter.
What we have here is your standard pack hunter. You can get an upgraded model if you were to get the audio upgrade and even some floor mats. We also have a vanity mirror that can be added in for an extra 3,000 credits.
Here's your standard Kodiak. Let's pull up one of these digital graphics. You know, who's producing this thing? Terrible. And then it's this little fellow. Hey,
Can you imagine being that guy? Yeah, that's one of the things I like about the new BattleTech system is when you get your models, you also are getting the Alpha Strike cards if you decide to play them in Alpha Strike, which is
that's
super
great.
slick.
Just to get going. There's this guy here is the Fire Falcon, or as you would call it in 1984, the Fire Falcon.
Fire Falcon.
Oh, that's sweet. It's the Fire Falcon.
That's what I mean,
I stole that from Rick. That's actually Rick's voice. Sorry.
that's one of my voices.
Yeah, that's one of your mini Rolodex of voices. The
If
Fun
Hellion?
fact for Rick, the Kodiak was designed by Clan Ghost Bear.
Sweet. I'm a big fan. Big fan of the Ghost Bear. It's pretty slick.
And mini, yeah. In Halloween, don't they call you the Ghost Bear? Here we go. This one is called the Hellion Prime.
Did I ever tell you guys my Ghost
sick.
Bear story?
Like
Like
no.
like the real Ghost Bear.
When you're done showing off the cards, I'll tell you my Ghost Bear story.
It's taking forever. I know. Gosh,
No.
hurry up. This is Baboon, the Howler
Take your time.
3, or aka the Devil. So, anyways, kind of cool. And all these guys are camo, so you know you're going true to that.
Nice.
Let's hear about this Ghost Bear.
Yes.
So the Ghost Bear story. Ages ago, it was before Corey and I got married, so that was a long time.
1994.
It was after the day Virgins of Timelines. It was
Okay.
like
Okay.
2003.
Okay.
I had just gotten a new used car, and I was
All right.
taking it into the shop so I could have them give it a once over before I actually, put the money down to buy the thing. I wanted to make sure it was all up to snuff. And I go into this dealership to have that done, and I'm sitting in their seating area, and their seating area is humongous. It's like about half the size of your play area right now. So there's
Nice.
a lot of room in there.
Yeah.
A whole lot of chairs. I'm all by myself on this Saturday morning. So I sit down and I pull out my dual screen and I start playing Pokemon. So I'm like, I'm going to be left alone. I can take care of my own time.
All right.
And then a lady comes in and sits down immediately next to me and just starts chatting me up.
All
And
right.
I'm just thinking, well, okay. I have a feeling like I could tell she was kind of hitting on me there, and maybe she missed the ring that I had on my finger. So I wasn't trying to be rude, and I wasn't trying to like tell her to go away, but I was trying to find a way to gently let her know that, like,
Let her down easy, they say.
yeah, like you may be barking up the wrong tree, man. And she tells me, she's just really worried, like she's really scared that the people there are just gonna try and be shiesty with her. They're gonna try and do something that's that she's not, because she doesn't know enough about cars. And I looked her right in the eye and said, "You know what I'm afraid of? I'm afraid of a bear that is also a ghost." Because I mean, what do you do? Like you can't put your soul up in a tree at night. They'll just get it. There's nothing you can do. You can't hide. It's a bear that's also a ghost. And she just looked at me like I was out of my mind.
It's amazing.
And she slowly crept away from you, and
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
that's funny.
Nice. Ghost
Ghost
Bears saving the day.
A bear that is also a ghost.
I didn't know where that story was going to go. It went in a different direction than I thought.
Agreed. Also, not the same direction I was hoping it was going to go.
Turned out the lady was possessed.
And was also a bear.
Oh my gosh. What kind of crazy auto body shop is this?
It's amazing. All right.
Oh man.
It's kind of interesting putting this different color green onto the mechs, but it's going to do the job. And also hold chocolate chips way better, I think.
These are chocolate chips.
Yes. One of my many voices you speak of so frequently. I did a French voice earlier today. I thought it was pretty funny.
French
accent. Yeah, I did a French accent earlier today. I can't remember what caused me to want to do it, but we were talking about some product line, and it was we were talking about Asmodee. That the French company over there smoking their cigarettes, eating their croissants, those American fools are going to spend all their money on our board games. Because we're talking about putting up they have a bestsellers program, and we're thinking about making a designated area just for Asmodee bestsellers here in the store. So
the funniest French run-in that I've had stateside was years ago. I worked at a ski lodge. It was Mountain Brighton, Michigan here, and it's which was recently got bought out by Vail. But back in the day, it was it's a Midwest like ski lodge. It's a small thing or whatever. And I worked in the concessions area, but it was more like they do burgers and fries and pizzas and sodas and stuff like that.
sure.
Hot dogs. They had a flat grill, and they would do like a break to groom, and then they would everybody would come in, get their concessions, and then leave, and it'd be like a lull. So it'd be a very easy job at that time. But this guy came in, and he orders a hot dog, and he was like, "Do you have any onion?" And we're like, "No, we got ketchup and mustard." And he goes, "Nah," and he just walked away. Anytime I ever eat a hot dog now,
that is amazing.
And he came from France, and he was at this not the world's top-notch ski place, And he was looking for some gourmet dog. And do you have any onion? And I was, nope, no, we sure don't. We got ketchup and mustard, right? And we were like 14, 15, and nah. And it was the best thing ever.
That's so good.
Oh man.
T-Cat has said beers beats Battlestar Galactica. Wait a minute. That's funny.
Oh, that's lovely.
A good Office reference for those of you that did not know.
Dior.
All right. Yes. What a great show. I heard that they're doing a reunion show or something on Peacock. I think it's on Peacock. I don't remember.
Did you see the Ricky Gervais reunion show of the British Office? Like he's a rock star, and he's like working at that same office, and it just didn't work out for him, and it didn't really become famous more than and he takes like kind of a sabbatical for a couple weeks to go on tour with his rock band, and he hires all these musicians. It's a slow burn, but if you enjoyed the original British Office,
I enjoyed it not so much because of what it was and the humor, but the actor who played their version of Dwight Schrute.
Oh yeah, he's great. He's in like Train Spotting and
Yeah, he's also in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh yeah, he's the guy at the eye.
Yeah, and I thought his character in Pirates of the Caribbean was just a brilliantly acted role, even though he was a minor role within that
Oh, it
entire
made
thing.
it. For sure.
But he was, every time he came on camera, he was so funny. Him and the other gentleman that was his counterpart. That in the original Dungeons and Dragons movie before the Honor Among Thieves one that just recently came out, that actor played a dwarf he was the dwarf in the original Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just weird, you know.
Yeah, and he was in the British office. He was the one that his stapler. Who put my stapler in gelato? Right?
So good.
Or gelatin. You know, they call it gelatin. It's not jello, it's gelatin. Gelato is in Italy. That'd be fabulous. You know, like
yeah, Italy and ice cream.
Or gelato. It's delicious. Oh man,
So good. I love that stuff. Pop culture is best. All right. What time we got? Ooh,
it's that time.
it's that time, ladies and gentlemen. We have come to the end of our show. Another big shout out to all our sponsors, and especially the Army Painter. If you haven't done so yet, go find them on all social media and give them a big follow and say sent to you by Rick at Path of the Brush and Mark and Will. And then also at the very bottom put Hoplite Games. Yep, so go give them a follow. And if you haven't started using War Paint Fanatic in your paint toolbox, pick up a couple, give them a try. Tell us what you think. We'd love to hear what colors you're using out there in the community, which ones are definitely being added to your toolbox, and we'll see if and compare notes on that. Until next time, I'm Rick.
And I'm Mark.
I'm Will.
And we'll see you at a friendly local game store.